What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy D, and I'm here today with another video for you guys. Now this video, I guess it's a little bit of an update as to where I am and where I've been. Let me make sure you guys are straight first. Okay. So I wanted to come in here and update you guys because I feel like ever since I opened up my space to be able to talk about my vulnerabilities with you guys, a lot of you reached out to me for many reasons as to why or what has been going on in your lives with, you know, like a partner, with your ex. Also, like a lot of encouraging words from everybody that I've been getting, and I guess it just opened up this whole new forum for us to be able to share with each other our vulnerabilities. And honestly, before, I've always been a very strong woman. I carry myself as a very strong woman, and I have learned that being vulnerable doesn't take me away from being the strong woman that I am, right? And so in vulnerability there is strength, and it's something that I'm learning and that I've learned. And I'm also learning that God puts you in places or allows things to happen to you so that you can learn the lesson and so that you can grow as a person, right? And so obviously what took me to become this vulnerable was the recent heartbreak that I experienced. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me on Instagram, you may see that a lot of the times I'm like, I'm healed, I am this, I am that. Like, I am setting affirmations out there to the universe, out to God, out for me to say what I believe I am, because I am healed, even if I still feel a certain type of way about whatever situation I'm going through. And so I wanted to make this video because I wanted to open up to you guys what was opened up to me in therapy. And in therapy, when this issue first came up, you know, of how I felt, my therapist gave me, you know, she was like, I wonder if you're ready for this challenge that I'm gonna give you. And for something that first of all, like, when I'm giving a challenge by anybody, not just my therapist, I feel challenged. I feel like, what you mean I can't do this? Like, I'm gonna do this, you know? It takes drive out of me. It takes different emotions out of me to be able to prove myself that I can do it, right? And so I was like, I'm gonna prove it to you that I can do it, but what is it? And so I asked her, I was like, well, what is it? And she was like, I want you to read a book. And I was like, okay, well, like, I like reading, so what book is it? And so she told me, she was like, it's a book called Calling in the One. And of course, like, I'm going through a heartbreak in that moment. Like, this was like 3 months ago, right? Like, I have been talking about what I've been feeling at therapy and like whatnot. And so I was like, what do you mean calling in the one? Like, I'm not trying to call no one in right now. And so she explained to me, and she was like, before I even let you read it, she said, I'm gonna spoil the book. And I was like, okay, well, spoil it. So I'm here to spoil it to you guys too. Calling in the one, by the one, it's not calling in a significant other. It's not calling in your ex. It's not calling in the entanglement that you just had. Like, shout out Amy. Like, calling in the one is calling yourself in, getting to know yourself and getting deeper into what requires for you to be able to allow love in, right? And so she told me, she was like, I don't want you to go into this book thinking that you're gonna find a person, because that's the mistake a lot of people made when they read this book back when it came out, and they got into relationships, because she also does like relationship workshops and whatnot. So she was like, a lot of people or a lot of women got into relationships thinking that the one was sent, that this was the sign, or that this happened. And I want you to know that that's not what this is. Like, this book is legit for you. And so I was like, here we go. I said, watch. And, you know, like, I'm going to say Pepita because I'm not going to say her name here. I was like, Pepita, I already know. I said, as soon as I start reading this book, so-and-so is going to hit me up, you know? And then she starts laughing and she was like, well, that's the point. And I was like, what do you mean that's the point? And she was like, when you start working on yourself, you start to attract and set out energy to the world, right? And she said, while doing this book though, she said, that's the point, because I want you to do this book without any male attention. She said, if there's anybody in your life who you flirt with, obviously, she said, this person that, you know, you guys just like separated, anybody who is a male, obviously, because that's what I'm attracted to. I need you to tell them that right now you're taking time for yourself. And I was like, but Pepita, like, as soon as I say this, like, they may not come back again. Like, what? And honestly, like, I told her, I was like, as soon as this happens, I was like, as soon as I start reading the book, like, he's gonna hit me up. I know he's gonna hit me up. And she was like, I know he is. And he will, you know. She was like, but the book, when you read this book, you guys, this book after every day has a lesson. So the way this book works, this is what the book looks like. And no, I'm not sponsored. I'm just sharing it with you guys because everybody has been asking me on Instagram, like, what is the book that you're reading? And so I'm here to share it. And I'm here to tell you guys about it so that you can know if it's something that you even want to get into, you know? It's a book designed to read for 7 weeks. And it also says it here, 7 weeks to attract the love of your life. And of course, like, it even has the image of like the man and the woman, like a relationship, but really is to find yourself. So I'm letting you guys know that now. Now, it's for 7 weeks. So when I was first going to start it, I was like, 7 weeks? Like, oh no, I can't. Like, what if he does come back? And what if he does want to try it? Or what if he wants to do this? And what if he wants to do that? You know, like, all these things were like, or questions were like rising in my head of what if. But then after, you know, then she told me, like, you're not supposed to have any male contact with anybody, like anybody who you flirt with, anybody who like gives you any sort of, you know, like good feeling or whatever. Like, when it comes to the male energy, like, while you're reading this book, don't. So I was like, all right, bet. Like, I'm being challenged to do this, bet. Like, all right. And so something that you guys may not know, because I don't know that I've shared this, but every time I go into therapy, before going into therapy, I always say a prayer to God. And ever since I started therapy, I've been saying a prayer because I wanted to find, you know, whoever was going to talk to me through him, or however God was going to talk to me through that person. So luckily, I was blessed enough to find Pepita, like, on the first try as my therapist. And so before I go into therapy, I always pray that whatever it is that Pepita tells me is coming from God, right? And that whatever it is that I need to hear and that I need to work on and that I need to do, like, that is God telling me through her that these are the things that I need to accomplish or that I need to do. So the fact that she was telling me to read this book, like, I was like, well, this is coming from God. Like, you don't want me to have any male attention? Like, bet, cool, you know? Now, something also that I, like, stand 100% on is that every time that I've broken up or every time that I have separated myself from a relationship, I am not somebody who looks for the male energy or another man to, like, confide in, or another man to go and make me feel better, or, like, I don't right away try to look for another relationship because I just don't, I feel like I need time for myself, and I need time to release whatever I gave to the other person. And this has always been me, whether I was in love with the person or whether I wasn't, because I wasn't always in love in all of my relationships. But I've always felt that I need to respect myself enough to know that I need time to myself to figure out what I want before I move on and damage another person, right? And so I was like, all right, 7 weeks. And in that moment when she told me 7 weeks, I don't know why I thought 7 months, y'all. Like, I literally was like, so like, I'm not like, what? Like 7 months? But then after when I did the math and I was like, oh, July, like in the middle of July, I'll be done with the 7 weeks. I was still afraid. I went into this book trusting God, but at the same time, I guess not 100% if we're being honest, because I was afraid. You know, I really was afraid that this person was gonna hit me up and I wasn't gonna have the guts to be like, I'm working on myself right now. You know, like, don't talk to me, get your bread up. Yeah, we used to fuck, but I got fed up. You already know. But anyways, I was just like, I'm in love with this person, and like tell me when to go and I'll go. Tell me how high you want me to jump and I'll jump. You know, like, I was honest and raw about my feelings, and you know, like, what needed to transpire happened. And so anyways, like, I went into this book, and the first week, something else that my Pepita also told me in my therapy session was, this is a book, she said, that if you have any other girlfriends who are single, share it with them and do it together, because the activities, like, you'll be able to talk to each other about the activities that you're doing, and you'll be able to talk to each other about like what came up for you in each activity and whatnot. And like, it's a support system, and it's a way to hold each other accountable. You know, when it comes to when it comes to, you know, where you're at in the reading and what you've done and what you didn't do and whatnot. So I was like, okay, cool. So of course, like, in that moment, I thought of two of my closest friends, and I was like, you guys, like, I have this book, and this is what, you know, Pepita told me, like, let's read it together. And so we started our book club, which we actually didn't name it, you guys. We didn't name our book club. The hell? But we started a book club where we started reading this book, and the first week, like, one of my friends gets hit up by two of her exes, bro. Two. And I was like, what's going on? Like, why am I not being hit up yet? You know? But I figured out right there and then that wasn't, that like, being hit up by my ex is not a trigger. It's not what I like so-called desired. It's just not my weakness, I guess you can say. And when she told me that, I was like, dude, I know why they're hitting you up, you know? And she was like, why? What do you mean? And I was like, bitch, that's your weakness. Like, men are your weakness, and you haven't been single, and you have gone from one relationship to another. And so I think that you're being tested this way. I'm being tested by not being hit up, because that's my trigger. Because if you hit me up, I know you, like, I know, you know? And if you don't hit me up, then it's like, well, why aren't you hitting me up? Later on, I'll let you guys know why I wasn't getting hit up, because I figured it all out, because you already know your girl does her homework. But anyways, yeah, I started to read this book, and honestly, like, it has changed my life. It has made all this pain that I carried with me and that I had, you know, like, turn into something powerful. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I didn't cry while reading this book. And I'm opening it up to you guys now, because I'm on the last week, actually. So when I first thought of sharing it with you guys, I told Pepita, like, I was like, Pepita, I want to share this with my subscribers, because so many girls, like, have hit me up and have shared their experiences with me, and the same way that I'm healing, I want them to heal too. And so she was like, hold up. She was like, don't share this until you have finished it, because if you share it now, you're gonna attract, you know, like, the male energy back into your life, because people are gonna start to see whatever they need to see, and they're gonna want to come back into your life when you've already been, you know, like, I guess, like, leveled up. So I was like, oh, okay. So then that's why I hadn't shared it with you guys. It's not that I didn't want to like give you guys a tea or anything like that. And honestly, like everything worked itself out to come and bring you guys this now for whatever message I need to give you. And if you're watching, maybe you're one of the ones that needs to read this book, you know. It is a very emotional book. It is a book that for sure like makes you look so within, you guys, that if you're not doing it with a group of friends, that if you are not seeing a therapist, if you are triggered by things that have happened to you in your past, when it comes to family, when it comes to abuse, when it comes to any relationship, like an ex, like those things are gonna come up in the exercises that you do. And like it can be triggering, you know. And so the book is full of quotes. The book is full of, you know, experiences from different people. The first exercise is like the easiest exercise, y'all. Like, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like, the first exercise is like, I fully receive and give love. Like, say that shit 10 times to yourself and you're good. And I was like, oh, okay, this exercise, no, it's nada. At some point in the first week, so another thing, when you guys get the book, I totally recommend that you get a journal just for this book, because you are going to need a journal. You are going to journal depending on the activity that you're doing, or you're going to need to write things down. So this was the journal that I wrote it in, and I love this journal. I got it at Marshall's for $5.99. But this is the one I chose because that wasn't like my daily journal where I was writing everything else at or whatnot. So I'm open enough with you guys and vulnerable enough with you guys to tell you guys the things that I wrote, you know. And so I started this book. When I started it, you guys, right before I ordered it on Amazon, and when it got here, I literally wrote right here, like as soon as you open the book, I don't know what this is called, but I was like, Diosito, dejo esto en tus manos, I trust you. And what that means is, I leave this in your hands, I trust you. Whatever, because I didn't know what was all up on these pages. But whatever it was, and whatever it is that I need to learn, and whatever it is that I just need to work on, like, I leave it in your hands, you know. I started the book literally June 1st. We started the book on June 1st. And so of course, like after the introduction that she has of her book, you start the book with calling in the one. And yeah, like I am somebody who uses highlighters, and I'm somebody who uses different colors to do different things on my books and blah blah blah. And so I started to do it. But what I wanted to share with you guys is some of the exercises that I had. One of the exercises that I thought was super, super, super calling, or that like called on me automatically, was where I had to write 5 things that I needed in a relationship in order to be happy. And so I wrote my 5 things. You know, I was like, I need to feel wanted, respected, and valued. I need emotional support from my partner. I need my partner to validate my emotions. I need to spend quality time with my partner. And I need to openly communicate my feelings. So I wrote those 5. And then on the second part of the lesson, it was like, all right, well, now turn these things that you need from your partner, like now give them to yourself. And so when you think about it like that, it's like you don't need all these things from another human being. You need these things. You need to give these things to yourself. So I was like, I respect, value, and want myself. You know, like I choose myself. I emotionally support myself. I acknowledge my emotions. You know, like I allow myself to spend time with myself. I openly communicate my feelings to myself. So the exercises are somewhat like this. Other exercises are about you opening up and like writing letters. And so there was a letter that I needed to write where it was like, think of think of your future partner, you know, think of all of the things that you want him to tell you, and you want him, like, this is a letter from your partner to you. Before you write the letter out, it's like, okay, now you are your partner, write these things for yourself. So it's a love letter from you to you, you know? And so then after you read it out loud and you're like, wow, like, it was good, but I cried in a lot of these lessons. This book has definitely shown me so much. It has shown me things that I've lost, but it has shown me the things that I gained from the things that I lost, you know? And honestly, like, this has been such an experience that I feel that it's necessary for you guys, if you're interested in healing, to be a part of, you know? I was abused as a young girl, and that's something that came up on my video, and it's something that I've been open with you guys about before. It's not something I talk about all the time because it just doesn't need to be talked about, but that came up on the book, you know? And thankfully, before reading this book, I had already worked through those issues and through how I felt and through forgiving or doing whatever I needed to do for, you know, myself and what happened to me when I was a young girl. So that came up. So definitely, like, things that have happened to you in your past are gonna come up, you know, like things that you want are gonna come up. Things that you have allowed other people to do are gonna come up. Like, there's definitely gonna be things that are triggering, but I almost feel like, and I know that there is nothing good that comes out of being stagnant. There is nothing good that comes out of not looking to better yourself. And of course, like, you yourself have to take that step forward to be like, I don't want to look backwards anymore. I don't want to stay where I'm at. Like, I want to do better. I want to find better. I want to value myself more, to now allow the things that I have allowed before to happen to me again, right? And so obviously, like, you guys know how open my sister and I have been, like, about the relationship that we have with our dad. And those things came up, you know, like the father qualities came up about the things that I may want in a man. There was a moment where I posted this on, it was one of the activities, and I posted it, I think it was on my Snapchat, and it's just, I'm in the middle, you know, and I talk about my beauty, my talent, my greatness, my sexuality, my anger, my love, my light, my passion, my ugliness, and my power, you know? And like, you do this, and then you write it, and then you see it, and you actually believe it because you're putting it out and you're writing it down, you know? So a lot of these lessons definitely, like, help me out. A lot of the lessons also have to do with whatever relationship you're in, whatever entanglement you just left. And I say entanglement because that's what that was, okay? That's what we're gonna leave it as, because that was not a relationship. But and you know, after the Yada and August thing happened, like, everybody just birthed that word and we just liked it. So that's just what it is. But anyways, there was a lesson, you guys, where I had to write a letter to God of the things that I, and this is not a Christian book, by the way. Even the book itself says it, like, whoever your higher power is, like, write a letter to them, you know? And I wrote this specific, I remember it was a Friday, and this specific Friday, like, I was hella sad. Like, I just felt sad, you know? And I felt like I didn't know what to do. And so I did my lesson, and it was like, write a letter to God and tell him everything that you feel, and tell him, like, why, and tell him whatever you need to tell him, you know? And so I did, and I was sad, and I was angry, and I missed this person, and I wanted to be with this person, and I wish that it was different. And I was like, why isn't it different? You know, like, I wanted to know, like, was it pride? Like, what was it? You know, like, just what happened? And then right after the letter, like right after you write a letter to God, then you write a letter from God to you, responding to your letter. I almost felt like the Eminem song "Stan," where like I write a letter to Eminem, and then Eminem responds to me. Of course, like the letter response was a lot different, but even responding from God's perspective to myself, and alleviating myself from everything that I felt, and God telling me that I was going to be okay, and that I was going to find, or that he was going to give me the man that I deserved, and that the man who this person was in this moment was not the man up to my caliber, and not the man that I needed to be with, because there was things that he needed to learn on his own, and things that I needed to have in order to be in whatever relationship I needed to be in. That even after that, like, I felt good, you know, like it made me feel like God was really like talking to me, you know. So in a lot of these lessons, you know, like I cried, and obviously as anybody who goes through losses, or as anybody who has recently like broken up with someone, or left a relationship, or has been left, like you have all of these emotions to work on, you know. And I'm just somebody like al chile, you guys, like I'm not gonna beat around the bush, and like I said, like I'm not gonna entangle another person into my feelings just because I want you to make me feel better because this person doesn't want to be with me. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I had a couple of people that wanted to make me feel better, but no, like y'all don't need to know how, like I need to do this for me and by myself. I don't need another person to come. And I'm just not that type of person. I'm not going to use you to make another person mad, jealous, to want me to anything. And I'm not going to use you for my benefit. Like, I feel bad as hell using people for my benefit when it comes to the emotional manner, because I know how much it hurts to not be there, you know. Like, I know how much it hurts. So I was like, it's not worth it. And so a lot of these lessons happen like that. And I want to tell you that it does happen. Your ex does hit you up, you know, and not just once. They continue to hit you up, and they continue to find a reason as to why they're interested or they're not interested, or they bring up whatever it is, you know, like even if it's not like relationship talk or whatever, like they just find any reason to talk to you for. And it's crazy because I'll get a little bit into, you know, like since I met this person. And so since I met this person, for example, not for example, this is the facts. Okay, since I met this person, I literally started praying to God and telling God, you know, like, God. And I told this person straight up, like, you have the capacity to break my heart, you know. And it's not that I was giving them this power, it's just that since I met them, I felt so strongly about this person and the connection that I felt, that I was like, this can happen, you know. And so I started talking to God every single day, letting him know, like, God, I really like this person, and I am somebody who 100% believes that everybody who comes into your life for whatever reason is meant to be in your life for whatever chapter you're in, you know, to teach you whatever you need to learn, whether I was teaching him something or he was teaching me, whatever it was. But I told God, like, God, if this is not blessed or coming from you, or if this is just here for a little while and it's gonna hurt me, and they're gonna do things that are gonna hurt me, like, I need you to take it away, you know, like however it needs to be done, I need you to take this person away, you know. Now, I've said this before in my other videos, this is not a bad person at heart, this is somebody who has a big heart, but they live in survival mode, you know. And so I've lived in survival mode, so I understand what it's like to live there. I don't understand it maybe to the full potential that he's currently at in this moment, which it's not my story to tell, so I won't get into it. But I just knew from the beginning that this was somebody that I was gonna love hard, you know, and that I was gonna fall in love with. And of course, you don't get to choose who you fall in love with. You don't get to choose who you love. That just happens. And of course, you choose who you allow in your life, and you choose whether you want to continue to have them in your life or not. And so, you know, like, I just kept telling God, like, God, if this is not it, if this is not it now, whatever it is. And of course, sometimes, like, you're praying to God, like, if this is not it, like, take them away. But then, ya que te lo quitan, what do? Like, you're over here crying and shit because they're not here. And so, you know, like, that's how I felt. But for however long it lasted, and as strong as an attachment as I had, it wasn't an unhealthy attachment. And I'm also not at a place where I was when I was 20, 21 in my first relationship, where I might have been toxic in some way, you know, like even in my other relationship where I might have been toxic in some way, and I was petty and I had like my pride high up all the way to the sky, which, you know, even this relationship allowed me to work in a lot of the things that I had before, where, you know, like, I honestly take it as a blessing. Now, of course, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, like, I've never suffered, or that there's not things that trigger me that this person may be doing, that they may not be doing, you know, because I'm only human. And I think that as humans, we always want to know, like, what those people are up to, and we want to know what they're doing, and we want to know if they're still thinking about us, and whatever it is, you know, that we want to know. But now that social media is around and we can tell where everybody's at and we can tell what everybody's doing, you know, like, this was somebody who we mutually followed each other on Instagram, and even after that transpired, like, he wanted to stay friends with me, you know. But I remember a conversation that I had with him before this even happened, where I talked about my exes, and I think it was a question that he had, I'm not really sure, but I remember telling him, like, I can be friends with my exes because I don't have feelings towards them anymore, but they cannot be friends with me because they have feelings for me. And if I open up that door to be a friend with them, I'm going to be giving them false hope, you know. And if I've ever had love for you, I'm always going to have love for you. You know, I may not be in love with you anymore, but I have love for the people that I shared things with. Therefore, I don't want to hurt you. Like, for what? Like, you and I just don't need to talk anymore, right? And so I stepped away, and I still followed this person, but, like, I muted everything because it was like a trigger anytime they would post, or it was like a trigger anytime that, like, their face would come up. And so I muted them, you know. And every day, even as I left the relationship and wasn't with this person, like, I always told God, like, whatever I need to know, like, let me know. You know what I mean? Like, whatever needs to come to light needs to come to light. And it's crazy, you guys, because the tea, okay? Last week, this person was still hitting me up. And not to go hang out with them, you know, but, like, as friends or whatnot, to help me in whatever which way he thought was to help me, which, you know, like, I'm not somebody who, I guess, is gonna, like, yell back or, like, be like, why you hitting me up? Like, nah, bro, like, we're moving forward, you know. But obviously, like, that still was coming up. And then it's crazy because last week, the day he hit me up was the day before I had therapy. And I went to therapy, and in that therapy session, I told Pepita that I had a feeling that this person was in another relationship. And not while he was with me, but I was like, I have a feeling that this person went back to their ex, you know, or somebody that they knew. I was like, and of course, like, it's none of my concern anymore, you know, But it becomes my concern when you keep hitting me up and then all of a sudden, like, it comes out that what God told me is true, you know? And so, anyways, I found out this week that this person was with or is with another person. And, you know, like, I saw what I needed to see, period, you know? And automatically, like this, it was like, I'm out of the picture, you know? And it's no hard feelings for anybody. Like, it's crazy the way that I've grown and my mind has grown, because had this happened to me when I was younger, I probably would have been petty. I probably would have, like, said some things. I probably would have hit him up and, like, said something, you know? But at a point where I am in my life, like, I will not allow you to come and take my peace away, you know? And again, it's no hard feelings, but so last week when I found that out, like, I was like, I kind of want to, like, block this person, you know? But something in me just, it wasn't there. And so when I found this out, I was like, okay, like, I went on his profile because I still followed him, even though I had muted his stuff. And I found out that just recently he muted me from being able to see his stories, which is where he posted this other person. And so now I laughed, or not now, but that day I laughed because I was like, oh, so, like, you're hiding, you know? Or, like, you don't have the big enough guts for me to see this. For what? Like, I don't know, you know, like, maybe you're afraid of my reaction, but boy, I'm not gonna, like, it ain't worth it, you know? And especially knowing the things that I know from his past, or knowing the things that I know from who he is, you know, like, it doesn't take away the good things, but I believe that whoever you hang out with and whoever surrounds you is the person that you become. And so when you go back to relationships or to friends, or you surround yourself in a mediocre place, that's just where you're gonna stay, you know? And so when I was telling my friends how I felt because of it, like, I remember Sam was like, yo, like, had that been me, like, I would have said something, you know? But I was like, that's not necessary. That's not necessary for me to go out of my way and become anxious or be upset. Like, honestly, that night when I found out, and I honestly thank God, first of all, because I was like, God, you have been riding with me from the beginning that I met this person. Like, I have been telling you, and you have shown me time and time again where we're at and what it is that it is, you know? And everything comes to light, you guys. I'm gonna tell you that right now, you know? Like, no matter how you try to hide it, like, people have fake profiles, like, boy, you got the wrong one, first of all, because when I want to find something out, I'm gonna find something out, because that's just what it is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna come and, like, pretend like you got the wrong one. But anyways, that night I prayed to God, and I was thankful to God for showing me, you know, like, people's true colors eventually come out. And I'm not saying that this person never loved me or that his feelings towards me were invalid, because they weren't, you know? And I saw a genuine person when that person was here, you know? Like, whoever you're around is what you become, as I was saying earlier. So, but I remember praying, and I even prayed for them, you know? And I remember praying for my husband, whoever my husband is, because this is something I have continued to do ever since I haven't been with him. You know, I have kept my prayers for this person separate from my husband and who God desires me to be with, because ultimately I want someone in my life who God sent for me, who is going to give me what I need, you know, and vice versa, me with him. So when like I was praying, like I prayed for this person and his well-being, and always like I prayed for God to bless him, and to I don't know this other woman, like I don't know where she stands, I don't know what she's about, but I have grown so much within myself that I don't have room for hate or room to question what is happening around me or why God removed certain people from my life. All I can do is bless them, and all I can do is whatever it is that they need to learn from each other, whatever it is that they need from the relationship, whether he feels safe for whatever reason, like whether whatever it is, because I don't know them personally, or I don't know her personally, and obviously there's a lot of things I don't know about him. So, like I was just like, God bless them. And so I'm here to tell you guys that honestly, like a lot of the times we fill our hearts with hate, and we fill our hearts with, oh, like that's my man, like this and that. Like I remember one time he asked me, like, what would you do if a girl like just does, and I was like, boy, nothing. Like nobody is worth my peace, nobody is worth me fighting for you, like if they're being disrespectful and I need to step up for whatever reason, I do. But if there's a woman that's coming up to you and I need to react and you're not the one putting a stop to it, then we have a problem with you, not with the woman, And so, yeah, like it's crazy. It's tea. It is what it is, but when I start to put pieces together, when I start to put conversations, when I see even what he may be doing with her, and I know his situation and I know where he's at, mentally, monetarily, like in all aspects of life, I'm like, it is what it is, like I get it, and it's not for me to share with other people, but bless you guys, so yeah, you guys, like this book, it's crazy that it's coming to an end on my last week, because literally as I'm sitting here even making this video and sharing with you guys like everything that has happened since, it's crazy to me because literally, like, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was hella sad, hella sad. And this person like hit me up that day and like was trying to talk to me that day, and he knew that I was sad. And in my head is like, boy, like you really are a boy still, you know what I mean? Like you haven't grown into that potential that I thought you have. But the mistake that a lot of us make is that we see where this person can be, but because they're not there yet, we try to stick around and we try to discount our value and discount ourselves so that they can meet us halfway, or we even go on clearance and we just go down. But something that I keep learning is that you shouldn't have to discount yourself. You shouldn't have to put yourself on clearance, because bitch, I'm a Louis. Like, come and match and come, and if you can't afford me, like the Louis don't come to your house. You go and buy the Louis because you can afford it. Bitch, I'm the Louis. Okay? Like, if you can't afford me, and I'm not just talking about monetarily speaking. See, when I tweeted that, a lot of people thought, and a lot of people and a lot of women are like, yeah, like I'm like, you can't afford me, don't talk to me, get your bread up, But it's not even about that. It's about like mental wise, like it's not even about the money, because it's never been about the money with me. But it's about who you are as a person. Like if it's not gonna match, then God did what he needed to do, and I'm going through whatever I'm going through because whoever I'm supposed to end up with is doing the work, and whenever that person comes is who I'm supposed to be with, and so yeah, I'm just here to share my experience and to encourage you guys. I understand that not everybody, you know, like, as I mentioned earlier, this is not a Christian book, and I understand that not everybody is Christian or believes in God or whatever your religion is, whoever you believe in, you know, whoever your higher power is, whether it's the universe, whether it's whatever it is, I respect it. And I just wanted to share, you know, like, my story, and I wanted to share what has happened in the meantime, just because I know that a lot of you guys have asked me questions on DMs and stuff, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like, I don't always have the heart to respond to other people's situations, because I don't always, like, I'm still healing, you know, like, I'm healed, but I'm in the process of it. And because I'm in the process of it, sometimes my energy is lower than other times. And sometimes I don't have it in me. Like, I'm in survival mode when it comes to certain situations in my life. And so because I'm there, I can't always pick others up. So when I do feel good, like today, you know, and I feel good and I pray about it and I get to tell you guys everything that happens in my life, and I'm not telling you so that you do it like I do it. I'm telling you so that you can learn, or you can maybe try what I may have tried. A lot of the times we ask for signs and we want signs so bad, and they're right in front of us, but because it's not the sign that we want, we don't want to pay attention to it, you know? So don't fool yourself. You know, like, you can't stop fooling yourself, stop lying to yourself, and know that what is meant for you, it will be meant for you. You know, like, right now, this person right now, I have no negative feelings for. I appreciate for who they are. I appreciate for what they taught me. I appreciate for what it was. I don't have any hate towards them. I don't have like, oh, you moved on so quick. Oh, you went like, what does she have that I don't? Because no, baby girl, okay. Like, I am a Louis. Like, never ever question your worth based on somebody's inability to see it, or based on somebody not being able to level up to you. Okay? I think with all that being said, this felt like a podcast a little bit, even though it was just me by myself. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed. God continues to be with me every single day. He continues to challenge me, and honestly, like, I have taken the role of being challenged, of being uncomfortable, of learning from all of the experiences that are happening around me, and just growing into a better person, you know. And this book has definitely helped me to find the one, and find myself, and find the things that I like, and find the things, and know that get your bread up. Anyways, you guys, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all your messages. Thank you for everything that you do. I always put my PO box down below in the description, and you know, like, I don't do it so you guys can like send me gifts or whatnot, but I do it because there are people out there who God talks to send you a word of encouragement. And literally yesterday, as I opened up my PO box, there was something for Amy D, and it was a letter. And I opened up the letter. The letter was so encouraging. In that moment, I needed it. In that moment, I was in turbulence, you know, like, I was wavy and stuff. Like, I didn't know what was going on. And I read that, and I was like, wow, like, God works in mysterious ways. And I, you know, like, I tagged that person, and that person like hit me back up, and I hadn't even seen that this person had like DM me before. And when I opened up her message, you know, like, she was like, God sent me to give you these words for whatever reason. And I was like, shout out God. Like, you guys have no idea everything that you tell me, how much it encourages me and how much it keeps me going, because a lot of the times I know that there are things that I'm meant to hear from other people. And I'm a work in progress always, you know. I never think that I'm perfect. I never think that I have nothing to work on. And everything that happens in our lives happen because they're supposed to take us to a bigger place, right? And I believe that God doesn't allow you to be in the mud to keep you there. Like, God allows you to see all the turbulence and allows you to be on the, you know, like all over the place, so that when you come out and you get that better man, you get that better job, you get that better relationship with your family, you get that better car that you wanted, like, shout out God. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you're in the mud right now. That's why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, because you're supposed to come out of that better. And you're supposed to learn about yourself so that you become a better person for you and for whoever you're supposed to come across. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for rolling with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always... I was gonna curse, but I'm trying not to curse as much, you guys. Like, period. I don't promise anything, like... But yeah, thank you guys. Bye.